Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey by Paul and Linda McCartney. This is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that come from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way the series works is I'll do reaction videos for 2, sometimes 3 songs from each album, and then eventually I'll go and listen to the rest of the album just on my own, and I'll come back and let you know what I thought later. So this is actually going to be the second song that I'm now listening to from this album, the first being Monkberry Moon Delight, which I enjoyed. It was weird, it was out there, but I enjoyed it. So, but with that, I had mentioned in the last video that I've heard a good number of songs from the Beatles. I've heard a good number of songs from Paul McCartney and Wings. But I don't think until Monkberry Moon Delight I had heard anything from Paul and Linda McCartney specifically. And so this is really just the second song, not only from this album that I'm going to be hearing, but from this combination of artists that I'm going to be hearing. So with that, I say we jump right in. Again, this is Paul and Linda McCartney. The album is Ram. The song is Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey. Let's do it.
We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. We're so sorry if we caused you any pain. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. But there's no one left at home, and I believe I'm gonna rain. So sorry, but we haven't heard a thing all day. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. But if anything should happen, we'll be sure to give a ring. Admiral Halsey notified me he had to have a berth or he couldn't get to sea. I had another look and I had a cup of tea and a butter pie.
Butter pie? The butter wouldn't melt, so put it in the pie. All right.
Get around.
Another weird, eclectic song. Honestly, I wasn't into this song until the second half, until I guess the Admiral Halsey side of the song, because man, it reminds me of the things I don't like about the Beatles. And again, I know, I'm probably my subscriber count is probably dropping as we speak. Um, I like the Beatles. I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm about to say, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like about the Beatles and their music, Um, and their sort of more experimental, out there, weird stuff is kind of the stuff I don't like from them. And I know that that's what ultimately it didn't make them famous, but it's really what propelled them to like be considered one of the greatest, artists of all time, greatest bands of all time. Um, but ultimately it's not for me. I don't know what it is about that, and I feel like you get a lot of that here in this song with him like singing through like a speakerphone or whatever, and some of those effects that to me screamed the Beatles. I was like, I wish. And I think that's what I like more about, like, again, I've only heard a few songs from Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run, Jet, Let 'Em In, Ebony and Ivory, stuff like that. But what I like, Silly Love Songs, that's another good song actually. Silly Love Songs is a really good one. But what I like about those songs is that for the most part, to me at least, they sound like Paul McCartney songs, not necessarily the Beatles songs. Whereas to me, this and even to some extent Monkberry Moon Pie still sound like Beatles songs to me. And I don't like that about it. um, with that said, I did enjoy the song overall. Again, it took that second half of the song to really convince me. Um, but there were pieces that I liked throughout. So anyway, let's break it down piece by piece like we always do. Of course, starting with the lyrics. So I do want to read the about section for this particular song. It says, Uncle Albert slash Admiral Halsey was the second single released from Paul and Linda McCartney's 1971 album Ram. It reached number one on the Billboard Hot 100 September of 1971, displacing the Bee Gees' How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. It kept the number one position for only 1 week, replaced by Donny Osmond's Go Away Little Girl. It was the first number one hit of Paul's post-Beatles career. The song has a unique medley-like song structure consisting of three unrelated melodies tied together by the chorus. McCartney would repeat the use of this song structure on the 1974 hit Band on the Run, which again I really enjoy. And to me, Band on the Run is probably my favorite Paul McCartney song. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. But like, yes, it uses that same structure, but again, it sounds wholly maybe original. Maybe I don't know if original is the right word, but it seems wholly his own versus like another Beatles song, if you will. McCartney said Uncle Albert was based on his uncle. He's someone I recall fondly, and when the song was coming, it was like a nostalgia thing. McCartney also said, as for Admiral Halsey, he's one of yours, an American admiral, referring to Admiral William Bull Halsey. However, some suggest that this song is rich in symbolism about Pearl Harbor. Interesting. I did not get that upon first listen. That's interesting. Okay, let's take a look at those lyrics. Here we go. So, we're so sorry, Uncle Albert. We're so sorry if we caused you any pain. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert, but there's no one left at home, and I believe I'm gonna rain. We're so sorry, but we haven't heard a thing all day. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert, but if anything should happen, we'll be sure to give a ring. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert, but we haven't done a bloody thing all day. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert, but the kettle's on the boil, and we're so easily called away. I got no idea what the song's about so far. Maybe it's just about being at his uncle's house, and maybe something happened while he's at his uncle's house. I don't know. Let's see. Hands across the water, water heads across the sky. Hands across the water, water heads across the sky. Admiral Halsey notified me he had to have a berth or he couldn't get to sea. I had another look and I had a cup of tea and a butter pie. The butter wouldn't melt, so I put it in the pie. All right. Hands across the water, water heads across the sky. Hands across the water, water heads across the sky. Live a little, be a gypsy, get around, get your feet up off the ground. Live a little, get around, live a little, be a gypsy, get around, get your feet up off the ground. Live a little, get around. I mean, I could maybe see how this could be alluding to Pearl Harbor, like what was it? Hands in the water, head in the sky. The hands in the water could be like the ships, that were stationed there. The head in the sky could be attacking jets, but to me that seems like a bit of a stretch. I don't know. Hands across the water, water, heads across the sky. Yep, and that's it. Honestly, I don't know. Lyrically, to me, it's whatever. I didn't really enjoy it lyrically or dislike it lyrically. It just kind of is, like Monkberry Moon Pie. It's kind of silly sounding, nonsensical sounding. I'm not gonna give it a thumb up. I'm not gonna give it a thumb down. Honestly, just gonna stay neutral on this one. Just go sideways thumbs because I had no idea how to really even begin interpreting this one. So, as far as instrumentation and vocals go, I will say vocally, he kind of surprised me here because in Monkberry Moon Pie, he had that sort of like edgy rock and roll, like bluesy, Paul McCartney voice, whereas in this song he had that more like again, Band on the Run, Ebony and Ivory, like smooth, kind of laid back Paul McCartney sound, and so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the vocals throughout. The instrumentation, well, I say I enjoyed the vocals throughout. I enjoyed the vocals minus, again, that like singing into a speakerphone or whatever that effect is. Again, reminding me too much of Beatles songs. Yellow Submarine comes to mind immediately. But other than that, I enjoyed the vocals. Instrumentally, it was fine. One part that really stuck out to me was kind of that rain sound, and that you get the instrumentals kind of coming back in slowly in that section. I thought that was actually kind of enjoyable. Overall, I mean, I thought it was kind of fun instrumentally, and again, it sounded pretty good vocally. There were some pieces again that I didn't really care for, and I wasn't really fully bought in until the second half of the song, where really the tempo picked up, and so. Yeah, I don't know. This one's tough. I think I'm going to give it a thumb up. I think I enjoyed it overall. It could have been 2 thumbs, but unfortunately the first half of the song just didn't quite do it for me, So I'll give it a thumb up instrumentally, vocally. As far as replay value goes, I'm thinking hard about putting this one on the playlist. Maybe it'll benefit from a second listen, but as it stands right now, getting through that first half of the song is kind of difficult for then the payoff being the second half of the song. I think if I like the first half of the song more, it'd be an easy, like, no-brainer that's going on the playlist. As it stands right now, it's a maybe. I'm going sideways on this one as well. It's weird to say because I did enjoy the song overall, but it might be one of those that I really just enjoy in passing and not as something that I'm going to listen to regularly, So I don't know. It was fine. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. That's going to be it for the video. Another entry in this series, another album down. We've done 2 videos, and I think I'm going to call it there and move on to the next one, which looks like the White Stripes, which I know for sure I've heard some songs off of this album because I remember being around when this came out. Seven Nation Army immediately comes to mind, right? So anyway, we'll get to that one next. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you enjoyed the music, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And if you enjoyed the video, just consider supporting the channel. Like and subscribe and comment with your requests because I'm always taking those, and that's how we get half the songs on this channel. So definitely leave those in the comments. You can also check the description if you'd like to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.